So good morning, good afternoon, and depending where you're at in the world, good evening, LinkedIn family, depending on when you're going to be watching this, as well as to the Facebook crowd and to the YouTube channel subscribers. I'm so glad to have you guys all here. The Coffee with Bob live show has been kind of on hiatus for a while as I do some transitioning and trying to make the show better and building things together. And I'm so very, very happy and blessed that 𝗣𝗢𝗪𝗂𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒆 has decided to kind of help me jump the show off to start it new again. And I can't think of a better person than having 𝗣𝗢𝗪 on here. For those of you who don't know who 𝗣𝗢𝗪 is, she has written a book that's due out later this month, I believe, called the Joy Bringer. And everything that 𝗣𝗢𝗪 does and talks about is all about bringing joy into leadership, to have joyful leadership. Not only is 𝗣𝗢𝗪 an amazing author and an amazing speaker. That's how we first met. I attended one of her speaking sessions. She's also a radio broadcaster. She and her husband are coffee shop owners. We'll talk about that. And she really is an amazing, amazing preacher and pastor. So everyone, please welcome Joy Bowers to Coffee with Bob. Joy, I'm so glad you're here.
It's 𝗣𝗢𝗪. Isn't this so funny? You are not the only one. I get called Joy all the time.
Did I say Joy?
Yes.
Oh, I meant to say 𝗣𝗢𝗪, the Joy Bringer.
Yeah. Happens all the time, Bob. It's hilarious to me. But I mean, if you're gonna get called something else, that's great.
That's a good thing. It fits your personality very well.
Yeah,
I can't believe I did that. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. It is so common. In fact, the really funny thing was during gosh, it was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago when the movie Inside Out came out. Everybody just at church every weekend for years, people would come up to me and go, "Oh my gosh, do you know who you look like?" And I would say, "Yes." They would say, "Have you seen the movie Inside Out?" "Yes." And it was really wild to sit there in the movie theater and see this little character, this animated character on the screen, and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's me." That's so
I never thought of that. Now I'm going to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. She's got like blue mohawk, so it's a very strange thing. But I'm so glad you. We've talked about this for a while. And,
yes, we have.
Excited.
Well, and originally we talked about having you on when you premiered your book, and we're still going to do that, by the way. What's that?
It's coming up. It's only a few weeks away.
A couple weeks. You can pre-order on Amazon. I don't have the address in a banner. I forgot to do that today, but you can go ahead and look up the what's the title? I mean, hold on. I'll put the title up for everyone to see.
It's called the Joy Bringer Challenge.
Yep, Joy Bringer Challenge. That's right.
Yeah.
It is up on Amazon. I think the first couple pages are in the preview, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I've seen that, and I think I might have posted it in one of my posts a few months ago when we first talked about it, that it was coming out. So I'm excited, and I'm really excited to get my signed copy of it.
Okay. I actually have a book. I have a box of books sitting right next to me. I'm going to open it up. I just got like a giant pallet of books delivered to my house the other day.
Awesome.
I have the goods right here. And that's pretty fun. So yeah, this is my first book. So it's a new and exciting thing for me. Oh,
there goes the camera.
There goes my camera. But here it is. Here it is.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I got to say, it's one of the best covers I've seen in a long time.
My gosh, thank you.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, so I'm jealous, right? Because I've been working on a novel for 20 some odd years. Wow. And I finally am taking advantage of a program on Amazon called Kindle Vella, VELLA, where it allows you to publish a chapter at a time in serialized form to maybe test it and get it out there. And when you're done, then you can self-publish it with a cover and all that amazing stuff too. So, if you all get a chance, check it out on my profile. You can write in my headline there. You can get a link and read it. But be careful. It's definitely not, certainly it's not about joy. It's kind of gothic horror. So, but let's get back to season here and let's talk about, let's start out by talking about the Joy Bringer Challenge, okay, and how that all came about.
Oh gosh, well, I've always known that I carry something. I carry it, people. What is this about you? And I used to just say, well, it's the Lord. I'm a person of great faith, and I have felt marked by the presence and power of the Lord, and I know that I carry joy with me, but it's not a personality thing. And as I've gone through seasons of real trauma and difficulty, I've experienced life, if you will, like everyone else does. I still maintain and worked to maintain this thing. And the Lord has really revealed to me some handles to hold on to keep that, because I go through times and seasons in my life where I don't feel happy all the time. Things are difficult, but I have learned and worked to maintain this buoyant, I describe joy, I define it as a buoyant sense of well-being. It is something that doesn't have to change based on our circumstances, right? We often use joy and happiness, and it's not that they're not related. I say joy and happiness are definitely cousins, right? They're in the same family, but it's not the same thing. And so with that, I have learned to have some core values for myself that are able to maintain that joy and help me to stay afloat, stay buoyant, even in the most difficult of circumstances. So that's where the book came from. I wanted to help. So there are other books about joy, and that's great, but a lot of times people come about joy, they talk about joy from a perspective of how I found joy in the most excruciating circumstances, how I went through hell and found joy. And that's great. But joy is an everyday thing. It doesn't have to be something that we only look for or look to maintain when we're in the depths of despair. So my book really talks about the what is it, the why it's important, who it's for. By the way, it's for everyone. And how to really maintain it. So it's really practical. And I go through these 4 sections of how it manifests in our lives and core values to hold on to. And that's what you heard me talk about. I call them joyful leaders core values, or joy bringers core values. And those have helped me. They are the things that I literally hold on to every day. I practice these core values in my life. You can ask my husband, you can ask anybody. And they work. And so that's where this whole came from, and why I want to help everybody grab a hold of the joy that is for them and bring it everywhere they go. Because joy is transformative. It is powerful. And we need it in this world and in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so just to give a little bit of background, I actually met Joy at a conference that I attended. And
you called me Joy again.
I did it again. Dang it.
Isn't that so funny?
Yeah, it is. I met Season at a conference, and she was talking about joyful leadership. See, that's why I keep getting it turned around. And I signed up for it, really kind of on a whim. It was kind of as a filler. And I thought the concept was interesting, and I felt like I'm basically a joyful person anyway, and I like to, inject joy in everything that we do. But I got to tell you, it was life-changing for me. It actually clicked off a few things in my brain that I never really even thought of. And what's even more interesting is that I felt like I was led to meet with Season. And it was after she finished her talk that I stayed behind, and we talked for a little bit afterwards and got to know each other really quickly. And then we connected on LinkedIn, and it just kind of blew up from there. But the real interesting part is that shortly, oh, she blinked out, but she'll come back. Okay, there you go. Shortly after the conference, I went through a season in my life where I felt very emotionally as well as spiritually challenged, and reached out to Season, and she really helps me through it, and for that I will be forever grateful, and that's why I want to have her on the show, and that's why I like to promote her as often as I can, because I really believe in what she's doing,
Wow.
and how she does things. And it's really helped me from a faith perspective. And so I want to talk about that a second. Let's talk about let's start by talking about your radio show and how that all came about and what the focus is.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I was born and raised in Southern California, and on stage practically before this. I was came out. So I spent most of my life as an actor in the theater. And then and I always knew the Lord. I had a relationship with the Lord and called myself a Christian since I was very small.
Mm-hmm.
I really had an awakening in my life in my late 20s, early 30s. Really renewed my heart for the Lord and had an enthusiasm for the Lord. And so I felt called to go to seminary. I didn't even know what that was at the time. I just knew I was, and I already had an undergraduate degree in theater. I didn't think they'd let me in the door at seminary. I had no idea what that even meant. But through that process of just wanting to know more and match my head knowledge to my heart understanding and love. So I went to seminary, and in that process felt called to be a pastor. And entered into ministry and has been pastoring for a while. But the Lord was so gracious to me because I just thought I'd given up this 30-year career. But he just brings everything back around, you know? And I had this random opportunity to be on the radio. I had never been on the radio before, and the Lord like met me, had me meet this other man, and it turns out he was this radio guru guy, and he said, "Hey, do you want to be on the radio?" I said, "Okay." And he said, "Well, what would you want to do?" And I said, "Well, really, the only thing I want to do is tell people about the joy found in Jesus." And so he helped me. I would go to his house, he'd play, and I would just talk. And he helped me create a radio show, which also led me to be on the radio daily in Michigan. So anyway, Michigan, I'm on the radio every day in Michigan. But also to create a 1-minute feature. It's what I call the little 1-minute segment called Joy Bringer. And I wrote a whole bunch of these, and he produced them and put them on air, and they run on stations all across the country. And actually, I just found out it's in the Philippines. I had a woman, and she goes, "How do I buy your book in the Philippines?" I said, "I don't know. How do you know me? I listen to you on the radio every day in the Philippines."
Wow.
So I'm in different countries around the world. And the craziest thing, Bob, about this is that I write them and record them, and they go out into the world, and I have zero idea. It's the weirdest thing. I'm on, like, hello, is this thing on? Like, does anyone ever hear this? But what's so powerful is that I just am obedient to do what I've been called to do, right? Which is to write these little segments and put them on the radio. And the Lord does the rest. And so each day I talk about something about joy, right? What it is, how we grab a hold of it, just connect the idea. The man who gave me this opportunity, he said, "Listen, everyone thinks they have a feature in them, right? Oh, I could talk about cooking every day. I could talk about leadership every day." He said, "But the issue is longevity." And I said, "There are 472 verses about joy in the Bible. I think we're good." Because God is serious about joy. C.S. Lewis says that joy is the serious of heaven. And I love that because we've completely neglected it. In life of a Christian, the optional cherry on top of the sundae, right? That we think that it's for cute little girls or people without a care in the world, anyone who's serious or a serious leader or a CEO or someone who has a real job, right? That there's no room to be joyful because we identify that as clowning around, being clownish, and that's what joy is.
Right.
So I'm passionate about releasing that message every day, and up to the Lord who hears it, where it gets played, and how he uses that in people's lives. And I'm really grateful to hear from people who go, "Oh my gosh, I listen to you every day." And I go, "Where? I don't even know."
But isn't it amazing how it just kind of spreads, right? When the right message gets out there, and then let's face it too, it also has to be the right person presenting it that has that ability to connect with people, either through their voice or through a video connection, right? season. And I think you have that, right? You have that ability just to connect. I remember, was it last year, right?
Yeah.
That we first, or
Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe, when we met.
A year and a half ago.
Okay. At that particular conference, it was your session, right? They had put you in probably the smallest room they could possibly find.
Yeah.
And it was standing room only. Out into the hall, people were kind of trying to squeeze in and look over each other. And I think that's in large part because of your ability to connect with people. And it's not even on it's deeper than a personal level, right? Because I know it happened to me. I actually was one of the lucky ones, and I got a seat right smack dab in the middle. And I just felt like you were talking to my heart, right? And I guarantee you, the other people that were all sitting around me and out in the hall, kind of crammed in, they all felt like you were touching their heart too. So that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited about your book to read it, because I think it's going to be very impactful, and it's going to be life changing. And I'll tell you, some of the things that I learned in your session, I put into practice at work.
Wow.
With my teams, and it does work. So if I know we're only together here on the show for a short time, but if I had to ask you, well, not if I had to, if yes, you have to answer this. What's the one most impactful thing that you can give to the audience as leaders on how to be a joyful leader? The one impactful thing where you can kind of kick them off and it's going to make them think.
That's not fair.
It's totally fair. I get it. It's my show.
Well, first of all, I would say that joy is for you. As a leader, joy is for you. Joy is for you in your leadership and your team. Nobody wants to follow Eeyore. Nobody wants to be under a dictator and someone who walks around with the burden of the world. Yes, there is a, quote, burden of leadership. It is a great responsibility. From a faith perspective, we are all called to take our burdens to the burden bearer, to make the great exchange, right? To say, Lord, you've given me this responsibility. I'm so grateful for it. Here, you take it. We don't want to believe the lie that it is all on us, right? The Lord has brought teams around us. He has given us his presence and his power, the strategy of heaven, all of the things that we need. Scripture says, we probably, even if you don't know scripture, you may have heard the phrase, the joy of the Lord is your strength. No, we are not called to do it in our own strength, but to rely on the very real and very present love and provision of the Lord that is with us every day. And he does that through many ways, through crazy idea. Oh my gosh, I have this great idea. Through powerful software, through in ingenuity, through teams. He brings us teams to do it together. And as a leader, when we get off of this, victim island, is, oh, poor me, it's all on me, no one understands me, my boss hates me, the board is against me, and we just start believing that joy can manifest in our lives and in our work environment and have great effect, it will change what we do and how we do it. And so that's the one thing I would say. Joy is for you and your leadership, your teams, your workplace, and obviously in your personal life and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that was just one nugget, folks, that she just shared there. I mean, she is stock full of some amazing advice. Now I'm going to transition to another thing that's very cool. You guys recently relocated to the Knoxville area.
Yeah.
And now you have a coffee bar, the Nitro coffee bar, right?
Yeah, I'm standing in it right now. So this is it's called Intrepid Nitro Coffee and Tea Bar, and we got lucky because it's in a moment where there's actually not a whole lot of people here. So it's my husband and one of our employees are behind the counter, and so we are really paving new trails. It's called Intrepid because it means fearless, brave, undaunted, resolute. And we're doing something that's unique and different. We have 9, 8, 9, 10 sometimes Nitro coffee and teas on tap. So it feels like a craft brewery. So I tell people, think craft brewery, but for coffee and tea. And it's we're doing some really unique things. We're paving new trails. We actually we have a membership, so people can do a monthly subscription, pay once and get unlimited for the month. And it's been really wonderful. Something that we have zero experience with. We're doing the entrepreneurial thing, and we're doing it. And this is what's so powerful and beautiful. We're doing it with joy. We're doing it relationally forward. We're doing something that is cutting edge in many ways. We don't charge extra for oat milk, or we just is what it is, and we're honoring people and relationships, and it's paying off. It's been really neat.
That's amazing. And I remember when I invited her to be on the show, I told Susan, I said, we have to do this from your coffee bar, and you were hesitant to do that, but I think it's so cool that we're doing a coffee with Bob in an actual coffee shop. I've done this before, where actually I was in the coffee shop as well too, and we did a live, but that was local in the Chicagoland area. So I need to get up to Knoxville soon.
But fun fact, Bob, I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
No?
Nope. I own a coffee shop, and I've never had a cup of coffee, which is why it's called a coffee and tea bar.
There you go.
Of a whole wall of loose leaf tea, and we have tea on Nitro tap. And so my friends are like, how do you own a coffee shop? Now, I own a coffee and tea bar.
There you go. Yeah, well, I definitely want to get out there to try that, and we'll be coming through that area probably in October sometime, because I've got a granddaughter that's on the way, and she'll be born probably in that first or second week of October is what we're thinking. Good. And so we're going to drive out to South Carolina, and we're going to go through Tennessee so we can stop and have a cup of tea or iced coffee.
Bob, I am on the way. You have to.
Oh, I know. We are definitely going to do that. That's the plan. That's definitely the plan. So yeah, that's amazing. And you're doing this with your husband too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of kicked off this idea?
He did. This right now. He hates this story. I love this story. This is a 64-ounce personal nitro keg.
Oh, wow.
For Christmas 2 years ago. He's very hard to buy for. And because he's like a professional at everything he does, he gets sponsored. He's a professional mountain bike rider and a black belt in jiu-jitsu, sponsored by everything. So he's hard to buy for because he'll get things free,
Right.
Loves coffee, and he loves craft beer. I hate coffee and I hate beer, but I like a brewery and I love a coffee shop. So I bought this personal nitro keg for Christmas, and he geeked out. He just started making every kind of cold brew because, surprise, he's sponsored by a coffee company. So
okay.
He took all the beans that this coffee company was sending him, and he would make it on cold brew and put it in this new toy that he had, this nitro little keg. Mm-hmm. And he was like, this is the best thing ever. And I said, you can actually nitro tea, because you can nitro anything. Yeah. And it's just infused with nitrogen, really what it is, like a Guinness beer. A Guinness beer sure. is infused with nitrogen, makes it frothy and creamy. Mm-hmm. And so he started playing around, and one day he had this idea. He goes, what if we made something that looked and felt like a brewery, but was for coffee and tea instead? And less than a year later, here we are.
Oh, that's so good. I remember when you were first talking about it too. We talked about it once. Yeah. So I think that's an amazing idea. So when you start nitroing bourbon, let me know.
That's what I just showed you. So this is the original keg that I bought him. Mm-hmm. We've branded it, and they're slightly different now. But this one has peanut butter whiskey in it.
Seriously?
Yep. And this is the new shape, and this is our logo. And this one has bourbon in it.
Nice. Okay, that I'm definitely gonna try.
We got liquor license at the same time, and because we wanted to do fun events and things like that, because again, you can nitro anything.
Yeah, that definitely sounds interesting. Okay, so we're gonna circle back now to the book.
Yeah.
The Joy Bringer Challenge. When is that coming out?
August 22nd. It's available in bookstores, and you can buy it online now, and they'll send it to you August 22nd. But you can buy it anywhere books are sold. You can pre-order it, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, Amazon,
nice.
Any bookstore that you like to go to, they can get it, and it will be in your hands or in the stores August 22nd.
Awesome. See, that's great. And if you're not connected to or following Season on LinkedIn, because this is typically, this is mostly a LinkedIn show. I'm on Facebook, and we got the YouTube channel going. But you need to connect and follow and engage with Season, because she does some amazing stuff, and she has some amazing advice to offer, and has an amazing spin on life too. Right.
Thank you.
I'm fairly new to my sort of Christian awakening. I was born and raised a Catholic, right? And it was probably about, no, it's about 10 years. It's been a decade at least. But I feel like I'm still growing in my faith, right? I still have a lot of questions,
We
and
all are, right?
yeah. I don't have the same quote unquote relationship that Season has with God, or even my wife has with God, or some of my friends that I'm connected to, that I've been watching their faith journeys, like Trevor Houston and Shay Robottom, right? Go through some really big faith journeys, and they provide me a little bit of inspiration. But I think, aside from my pastor, who's retiring now, and relocating to the Nashville area, because that's where all his kids are. You, Season, have been one of my biggest inspirations to kind of trying to discover my faith more. So I just want to thank you for that in front of everybody, because I truly appreciate it, and I wish I could get your show here somewhere. I keep looking.
Maybe yeah. I'm on a station right now. I'm doing mornings on a station called Joy Worship. There's the Joy Media mobile app, and it's on there as well from 6 to 10 East Coast time every morning. But
Joy Media mobile app. Okay, I gotta hold on. We're gonna put that in the banner, because I am definitely gonna look that up
oh, neat.
and sign up for it.
Yeah, it's free, and there's 2 stations on there, Joy 99 and Joy Worship. I used to be middays on Joy 99, and now I'm mornings on Joy Worship.
So moving up in the world. You're the morning drive person now, right? That is so cool. Well, okay, so I know I've kept you a while, and you probably have customers to do, and
I love this. This is
you
great.
got books to sign for me.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for jumping on like this with me. I know you went through a lot to be able to do it from the from your Nitro bar, and I really do appreciate it. I think this is the perfect opportunity, and I'm really going to try and have the show fall um, on Fridays. But this was a day that we wanted to make it work and wanted to get out there. So I am going to try and do it on a regular basis. So when it comes closer to the 22nd,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
We're going to do a show where we kick off your book, and I'm really going to put you on the spot there and ask you to read a passage or two from it.
Well, I'd really love to talk through the 4 Joybringer core values, because I think that those are so practical and helpful. We could do it once a week, one each week, or we could do it all at once. But I think that would be a great opportunity to give some tools and some handles.
You know what, I think doing it once a week would be a great idea. So we're going to definitely schedule that, and
Yeah.
we can share it through LinkedIn, even on Facebook. And I know you guys don't have a website yet for in Intrepid, do you?
Nope. We have an
Okay.
Instagram page.
Yeah, and I posted the Instagram page, and we'll post
Aw.
it here again. Um, so I highly recommend following that as well too. And we'll feature these on the YouTube channel. We'll feature these on LinkedIn, and maybe I'll break down and actually start being active on Facebook and feature it there. Facebook's getting better for me. I mainly do Facebook to follow my kids. That's because they all live in different states now, so I only see them on Facebook, and see the grandkids on Facebook, or through a video chat. So I don't really engage on Facebook. So I guess I should start doing that.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, there is some, yeah, now we don't have Twitter anymore. We have X, which is, I think, a poor choice, but
Right.
that could be a different discussion for a different day. So Season, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Go out and pre-order the book, The Joybringer Challenge. It's coming out on August 22nd. Make sure you get a chance, if you get a chance, to go ahead and go look at download the Joy Media mobile app so that you can hear Joy in our morning show and some of the great tidbits that she brings. Make sure you follow her on and Intrepid on Instagram for sure. And then next time when you're in Knoxville, stop and have yourself a Nitro coffee or tea or even a bourbon at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate you and appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you. I'm so grateful, Bob. Thanks so much for the conversation, and I can't wait to talk more.